We had a startup in India in education valued at $22 billion. It doesn't exist anymore. In 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, that entire education technology player is no more in the market.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Shri PP Sunil Acharya ji.
Thank you so much. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me here. Hemant was quite insistent that I come to Indore. I came here 10 years back, so the city has changed completely from the last 10 years when I came last. And it's very, very clean. I don't know how you keep it this way. I come from Bangalore. We have a lot to learn from there. Okay, so I've been in the education technology space for 25 odd years across multiple companies. I've not really stayed at one company forever. So I was at Microsoft, at Novell, Adobe, AWS, and now at Intel. And the interesting part about this particular event is the fact that there are no sponsorships here and there is no sales conversations here. So it's going to be quite interestingly different. And all the sessions that Hemant's been and Digi team has been putting together has been built on that concept of trying to drive open conversations and discussions around developing education broadly. Okay, glad to have this stage along with the Minister for Education and the team here. Okay, quickly just want to capture 2 or 3 areas of interest right now that is top of mind in the conversation I've had across the room today. One is which is on AI, and I think everyone talks AI now. So without AI, the session will never be complete. Before I get there, I think the market has changed dramatically. When I started education in 97, 96, India had about 300 universities. We have 1,168 universities now. Okay, things have changed. We had 350,000 machines per year was the average volume of machines sold in the country. We are selling 16 million machines a year now. Okay, so things have changed dramatically. The same size of the ecosystem, China sells 40 million machines a year. So we are still a lot of space to go. If you look at the PC penetration or the mobile phone penetration, India has about 975 million mobile phones active, and about 9% of households have PC access. So India is a very strong consumer market. So we consume a lot of content. Our education happens on the mobile phone. We're okay doing that. So there is a genuine issue around trying to build a creative ecosystem. Okay, and if you look at all the stuff that we do in education, the challenge defends that the usage and movement of outcomes is where the gap really is. It's not too far back in 2021, 22, we had a startup in India in education valued at $22 billion. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay, and that in 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, that entire education technology player is no more in the market, which was on a premise of trying to drive a fear-based sales model, saying that if you don't have my platform, the child will not do well. And that mindset may be a wrong sales strategy. Technology was great. It was primarily content that was digitized to be used around. So I think for us, if you talk to people in the room around AI, you would hear different versions of AI. You'll hear AI is great for telecallers. This is what I heard today morning. Okay, AI is very good for curriculum and content creation. That's what I hear mostly. But AI is universal, right? And I think it's one of those technologies that if you use it well, we can transform education very effectively. And one of the reasons I bring that is that there's a lot of noise around assessment and testing going on right now. There's a lot of not positive stuff happening around it. Because I think we've built a culture around focusing on passing the exam and not really focusing on getting the knowledge required. I think AI helps you do that. So you have today a system that allows you to learn in a manner that it adapts to your learning ability. So students across institutions, whether they're very good at education in a conventional model or they're looking at education that's non-conventional, they can use an AI engine to have continuous learning, which is something that you can see changing. AI also allows you to build assessment models that are gradual. So students that are doing really well can look at building that together. So AI is an important tool that we can effectively use. What we also see is there's a lot of institutions spending a lot of money around creating an NVIDIA lab, for example, which costs a lot of money, okay? Which really will not be used effectively because we don't have enough use cases to use such large GPUs. We don't have it, okay? It is more prudent for you to look at frugal AI models that allows you to use your existing infrastructure for AI deployment and training on your campuses. You can do that with a Xeon server. This is not a sales pitch. It is an Intel Xeon player, but you already have it. You may as well use it more effectively on campuses. That's one area that's happening that's quite rampant, right? Because learning language creation is not for everybody. We're all here to look at AI to try and help us learn better. Inferencing is what we use AI for, and for us to look at building that forward. So while we have discussions today, look at models that are relevant for India from an education perspective. Not necessarily everything that works in the US, in developed markets, needs to be adapted entirely by us in our country because we have limitations. We don't have unlimited power, we don't have unlimited water supply. Those are challenges that we have today. So when you're deploying AI models on your campuses or discussing AI use cases, think of use cases that is relevant for India to enable the student to have absolute learning enhancements using the technology available that's there. Okay, so lastly, thank you very much for coming in today. I think it's an amazingly large audience, and thank you for having me here.